Beck, Lost Cause on XFM 104.9. Wow. Carl, we haven't had a lot of emails, they're tough.
I'm struggling.
Yeah. I've got one, and I'm struggling with two, but I know one of the words, but I can't think of the band that fits it unless the clue's wrong, and I've got no idea with the first one, E.
Give us them again.
Just quickly recap. Number one, the fella has only got one badge left. That's E. Second one, the unmarried lady is a friend he out with. That's MD. And the last one, I really, really love that woman. I love everything she does. That's M.
Well, Ricky, what is it?
Ricky.Gervais@xfm.co.uk.
So keep those coming in. If there's no winner, we don't know whether to give it to the person who gets the most right first, or have a massive rollover. And what a Christmas booty that would be, as Carl said. All those. Imagine what you could have. Indecent proposal, maybe.
Who knows?
You know what I mean?
I've got some real junk, so I can bring that in.
Yeah. The mean machine.
Imagine someone
Vinnie
this Christmas. Yeah, exactly. This Christmas. I can't believe it. Oh, thank you so much for the Pelican brief. I noticed you left a price on.
And it's on VHS as well.
Oh, great.
Brilliant.
This is a perfect Christmas gift, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Okay. Now, so that's going.
CD.
That's going on. That's a big prize. It's the big weekend prize on XFM. Educating Ricky, part 2. Right, what's the clues left?
Well, we've got left the headlines. I'll be no buying one of them.
Yeah.
And we've also got chicken. You believe it? Chicken. You believe it? So they're the two that are left. Which one's you going for?
Chicken, you believe it, is not that picture, is it? That we saw.
Which picture?
The bloke with the...
No.
Right, okay.
God, that was bad.
Right, okay,
so...
I just better explain
we
that.
We can't really discuss this on it, can we?
Well, we can. Steve brought in, Carl, the best book ever, which is, what is it?
I found it when I was moving house. It's an FHM publication, and it's kind of like lots of grotesque pictures and stories, and like a book of freaks and weirdos and...
And Carl opened it, and the first one was like...
At the back.
At the back.
Well, you couldn't believe your luck, could you?
What was it? What was number 50?
A bloke with 2 heads.
And he said, what's number 1?
Yeah.
And then number 6, there's a bloke who's a squid or something.
Octopus.
Yeah. Yeah. He's loving it. And number 1, he said, well, it's just a fella under a rock. And I went, oh no, read on, I think I know about this. And it's the fella that was found, he caused a landslide while having sex with a chicken. And they pulled him up, and there he is, the chicken owner. Right, so Carl could not believe his luck. So it's not that.
Chicken, you believe it?
I love that one.
You're going for that one?
Yeah.
Right, well, we've talked a lot on the show about,
We've talked a lot on the show.
Yeah. About animals without heads.
We haven't! We haven't! We talked about cockroaches could live without a head for 7 days.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and then of course there was the well-known one about the fella who had his head cut off, and he
blinked.
He said to his mate, "Count how many times I blink when my head comes off."
Yeah, when you told it to me, you said his head came off, and he said, as he said to the basket, "Quick, count how many times I blink." And it was Nick Frost that had to go, "No, Carl, no, he said it before." I went, and that was lovely. So yeah, we've talked quite a lot about things heads coming off. Go on then.
Well, this one, right? Back in 1945.
You looked up the date.
Got a specific date. Wow.
Mate Jonathan sent this one. You know him as well. The lad at the BBC, right? He emailed this one in. So thanks for that. Chicken. It's called Mike.
There's a chicken called... Sorry, I missed a bit there. There's a chicken called Mike.
Chicken called Mike.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened was, it was living on a farm, right? Loads of chickens knocking about, and the owner of the farm is like, getting ready for tea, and his wife says, "Go out and get a fresh chicken, because my mum's coming round." So he thinks, well, I want to get a good one in, because I want to impress her. Cause back then, even then, they wanted to impress the mother-in-law and that. So they said, "All right, I'll just nip out and get one." So he sees Mike, chicken, running around.
Is this during the war or after the war?
1945. I'd say that was after.
No, it ended in
1945.
Yeah, September, go on.
So, chicken's running about, he thinks that one that looks alright, I'll have that one. So he picks it up, and he cuts his head off. Puts it on the block, cuts his head off, runs about a bit, like they do. He thinks it'll stop in a minute. Keeps running about. What's going on here? Right? He's now like chasing the chicken without an head.
Yeah.
Saying he should die in a minute. Anyway, doesn't die. Chicken's walking around with no head. Lives for 18 months.
Yeah.
Chicken with no head.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard this story before, Rick, and the explanation, as I understand it, was that certain vital cords, spinal cords, weren't severed when the head came off, so that was why it continued to live.
Yep.
I don't know if that sounds plausible.
It's fine, absolutely fine. How did it take on protein and energy?
The fella who owned it, he said, well, hang on a minute, he said, I could kill it now.
But I've got a wonder chicken here.
But he's thinking, it must really want to live.
Sure.
Right? If it survives that, they've sort of got something here.
Yeah.
So he, what he does, he gets a little, eye droplet thing that he used to use on it. Obviously not anymore. Right? And he filled it with grain and water. And it had a big hole in its neck where its head used to be. And he,
incredibly.
and he dropped...
You know what? I mean, that is possible then, if it, without infection, without infection, if he was taking on things, it is possible, right? Why?
Why what?
Why did he do it? How cruel is that? I mean, that was not cruel, because the chicken obviously,
He said if he thought it was a bit fed up, he would have killed it. He said, but it was running around quite happy.
Well, it wasn't fed up at all, because it had no brain.
Well...
What do you mean, well?
I'm just saying what...
It was nothing, it was just sinew and nerves and electrical impulses breaking down energies, right? That's all it was. It didn't have a brain. So it was... But I'm worried about the psychology of keeping a pet without a head. I'm worried more about what the farmer was thinking than the chicken.
I tell you this, the question I'm asking is, was the mother-in-law impressed? I mean, that's why he said to shot Mike's head off.
This is lovely, but it's just the head where you don't kill a chicken like that all at once.
I thought we were having chicken for dinner. Come and look at this, running around the yard.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So, there you go, you've learned something there.
Yeah, I have learned something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, one more.
That farmer, I've learned that farmer was very strange indeed.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have to say, to be fair to Carl, I have a feeling when I read it, the reason he kept it alive was as a novelty. He got charged people to come and see the incredible headless chicken called Mike.
Right.
So, there we are.
Right.
That's great.
So, tune, Steve?
A tune, yeah. I just thought I'd like to hear a little bit more from that NERD album. We played some of this from there when it first came out many moons ago. Since then, it's gone on, it's won awards, all sorts. And obviously, NERD now, Nerd, as they're sometimes known, kind of big producers. They're producing Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, all kinds of people. But this is a track from their album.
I've heard they're wicked.
They are indeed. And this is called Things Are Getting Better. NERD from their album In Search Of, and that's Things Are Getting Better. After the break, we got more Educating Ricky and the results to this week's Rockbusters.
And Richard Ashcroft.
Oh, dynamite.
Richard Ashcroft. Check the meaning on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant. Carl just remembered a little story he was excited to tell you.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh, are you going to tell him?
Oh, okay. When we went into this cafe last week after Carl had got his soil, we got 2 big bags of soil. I was going, get a bag for me. And he was like, no, I can walk home. After about 10 yards, he was going, oh, my arms hurt. So he had to get a cab. So we stopped in this cafe, he had spaghetti bolognese. You were loving it, weren't you?
It was good, it's a good little day out.
And there was a woman that worked there, and she sort of, I could see her sort of looking at me. And she goes, and then she goes, I said, are you off the telly? And I went, yeah. She went, yeah, Chris Moyles.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
And I just laughed, and we both started laughing. She went, no, sorry, I said, no, I'm not, Chris, what's your name? And I went, and I had to say it, I went, Ricky Gervais. She went, oh, no. She went, oh, the thing in the office. I went, yeah.
No, the funny thing was, she went and said,
oh no, I saw you on
Jonathan
Ross, that's it, yeah.
So she'd obviously watched the Jonathan Ross show thinking, Chris Miles has, lost his looks a bit or whatever. That's what I found funny, the fact that she must have watched it thinking that...
Yes, she went, no, I saw you the other day, and I was like, yeah, she went, oh, and then we were still sort of laughing, I was thinking, she went, oh, sorry, but I was going, no, it's fine, I was thinking, imagine that, just like,
God.
Great, there's not a better one to pick.
That's just appalling.
Oh, that was lovely. It's the second time as well.
That you've been mistaken for Chris Moyles?
Yeah.
Oh man, you've got to feel bad about that.
I've had Moyles, I've had, Vegas a few times.
Johnny Vegas, yeah, I can imagine.
So, yeah.
Do you think, like, people are going up to Moyles going, you do that thing about working in an office?
Yeah, well, dunno. I don't know whether I hope that or not.
I don't know, it depends what he answers.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I thought you were going to say that, are you Chris Moores? No, what's your name, Ricky Gervais? I never heard of you. That'd have been brilliant. Question from Kevin. He says, Carl, other than the famous boxing match that you've often talked about, I know that took up about 20 minutes of your time, have you ever been in any other kind of fight? I don't suppose a slanging match. I think they're talking, have you ever been in a physical fight?
Once that I can remember. It was over a woman. Well, a girl. I was at school.
Yeah.
And it was because, like, it's hassle, innit? Right? Relationships when you're younger.
How old were you?
About 7.
It was over a woman.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
And there was this girl knocking about who, you know, she was quite good looking, everybody liked. And my mate, he really liked her. And I didn't sort of ask her out on that, but she just sort of took a shine to me and stuff, right? And didn't really go out with her properly. It's at that age where going out with someone is just like sort of going, all right, in the morning, do you know what I mean? You just sort of nod your head.
Yeah.
And that. Anyway, there was some sort of school disco, and they were playing Spin the Bottle or something, right? And I sort of wandered over to see what was going on, and I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it. And she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be doing with this, right? You know, what's up with you? It's old, what's up with you? And everyone's going, Carl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be all right, we'll sort the dress out. I said, oh, I can't be dealing with this. Right? So she's crying her eyes out, so it's over, right?
Oh, it's over, you saying, right, in the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right? And this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, you know. I'm saying, what are you on about?
Sorry, there's 2 7-year-olds. Yeah. You're out of order. Keep out.
Yeah. Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink, and he just said, leave it.
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah.
2 7-year-olds. Yeah. Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like, because, you know, he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there.
Yeah.
I accidentally, you know, sort of chipped his tooth on a sink.
Oh, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and 2 Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? 2 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that... What were you wearing? Football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know. It was like that sort of material.
You were wearing winkle pickers.
like crepe. You know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that got a hole in it.
So you're having a... And when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks and
a little
head
bit of
locks?
wrestling and shoving about and that. And it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down and his tooth hit the sink.
Right.
And it chipped and what have you. After that, like, I sort of left there and stuff. And we had to go into assembly. And there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, listen, kids, you know, don't get into trouble because we're out there and we'll get you. Right, so sort of trying to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh God, there's a copper here talking, and like my mate's going to come in a minute, like with a chipped tooth and everything. And
Questions are going to get asked.
That's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said you'll never take me alive, copper.
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
What I mean is, we've obviously interfered somewhere along the way, and
Well, we have interfered, yeah.
we shouldn't have done, because it's the same way. Like, if we didn't have planes and that, would we have wings now? If we'd have needed to get about, would we have had wings?
No, the answer's no. Next.
No, but you say that, but look at the way.
Because he's right, says it because he's right.
No, but all I'm saying is, you see that little picture of like an ape to man.
Yeah.
At first, they're crawling about on all fours because probably you're looking for food, so you want to be down there. So
Right.
if you're on both legs, you're missing stuff that's on the floor.
What sort of time period do you think this... Because, I mean, we started, dabbling with a plane maybe 100 years ago. So what sort of time period do you think this little thing who was scrabbling around looking for food stood up and
I don't
walked?
know. I sort of don't worry about time. Sort
Right.
of
Well, I'll
behind-
tell you now, we
behind
wouldn't have
Rome.
wings now. If the Wright brothers had said, oh, forget it, we wouldn't have wings now. Well, it's that time again. It's the feature that the world is saying could rival Monkey News one day. Ready?
Oh, what's he written today? Well, Carl's diary. You didn't actually explain what it was. On the tube on the way back home, saw an advert for a book about a woman who works in a funeral home. She went into work one day, she goes to work on a body, she takes the sheet off of one of the bodies, and it looks exactly like her. This is called a doppelganger.
What's a doppelganger to you?
It's the thing I read about him ages ago where someone was walking down the street.
Yeah, and he sees someone who looked a bit like him.
And no, this was weirder than that.
Go on.
He remembers, like, going down that street as a kid on his bike, whistling.
Yeah.
And then he's walking down the street, going to get some milk or whatever from the shop. Little bike comes whizzing past. He hears the whistling, he goes, that's weird. Looks at it, it was him when he was a kid. So it's like a time.
Shit. What do you mean it was him as a kid?
This is like a different form of doppelganger. It's just
Well, it's impossible, it's rubbish.
some sort of time thing, isn't it?
No, it's
time.
that's impossible, so don't
It's
worry
just some
about
kind
it.
of time thing, Rick. No.
Yeah,
just
so what
some
you
kind of time
read
thing.
again on the internet, or it was a short story, or something someone told you.
On my walk back from the tube, I saw a jogger who was pushing a pram at the same time. The kid looked terrified. Got my science book out. It said that the static you get on the telly when a channel isn't tuned in properly is radiation that is still knocking about from when the Big Bang happened. I thought about the Big Bang and wondered if it was really a Big Bang, or did it just sound louder as there was no other noise to drown it out.
Good point, though, isn't it?
Carl's diary, Rick, never ceases to amaze. We do, of course, Rick, every week get thousands of emails. I mean, it's Freddie from Winchester says, of course, it was recently Valentine's Day. What's the most romantic thing that you've done for Suzanne, Carl, that you can think of?
I don't really do all that.
Sure.
The Valentine's Day stuff.
It's just, the problem is, if you do it once, they expect it every year.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Christmas and stuff, innit? It's like, it's become, that's what you do now, every year.
Every day, yeah.
So I prefer to just sort of wait, you know what I mean? And you know, if I think of an idea or I know of something that she wants, I might get her something, but I might not do it on Valentine's Day. It's that thing, it's like how I've said about Pancake Tuesday. Make it Pancake Wednesday. Have it when you want. Why am I waiting? Why am I waiting for someone to tell me when I can have a pancake? I'll have it today if I want one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Pancake Tuesday, no, I won't bother. I'll have trifle. So it's the same with this, you know, with Suzanne. Luckily, right? I mean, Valentine's Day and what have you, she was ill.
Luckily.
So we didn't have to go out. So I'd say, is he asking for advice?
Well, I suppose, yeah, certainly you may as well give it.
Treat them when they deserve it.
All right.
I remember once when Suzanne was ill, she had a fever, but there was no food in the house. What did you suggest to her? She was too ill.
Well, it was when we were still living in Manchester and that, and you know, we needed to get some food in for tea and stuff. And I said, come to the supermarket. She was like, no, I'm ill, you go. And I hate buying food. I just sort of get a bit blank when I'm looking at it. There's too much, isn't there? That's the problem. You go down all these aisles and there's just too much. So anyway, I said, no, come with me. She was like, oh, but I've got this fever, I'm hot and everything. So I said, well, come to the supermarket, you go on the frozen aisle, cool yourself down. And she did, and she said, you know, it made it worse, she was ill for another 3 days.
Lawrence from New York says, I was wondering how Mr. K. Pilkington would interpret this famous saying of philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. The quote is, if a lion could talk, we could not understand him.
Even if he's English.
Yeah, if a lion could speak English, so there's no language barrier, he's speaking English words and using all the correct grammar and everything, but you wouldn't be able to understand what he was saying.
Why?
Because it is from a different world. His frames of reference would be so bizarre that you wouldn't be able to get a grasp on what he was talking about, because you'd have so little in common, even if he used real words.
No, but he's talking English.
Yeah, no, but his reference points would be just so far removed. You know, they're removed slightly when, if you saw two people talking about Kierkegaard, you'd
I
hear...
wouldn't understand it.
Exactly. So remove that 1 billion times to a different species with different input.
No, but it depends. If I'm talking to a lion in London Zoo,
Yeah.
he'll be saying, oh, I'm fed up with being stuck in here. I'll go in here. It's like that. It depends what his background is. I mean, there's some people who might have lived down the road from me, but have a totally different life.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter that it's a lion, does it?
Well, yeah, because they're just trying to remove it even more. So now it's not just a bloke who lived a few doors away. Now it's not even a bloke. Now it's not even...
Yeah, but I'd pick something smaller,
Right.
or something, you know, a worm without a mouth, I'd go definitely not.
What? Definitely not what?
I wouldn't be having a chat with it. I just think that a worm that's on the ground,
Yeah.
what's it got to offer me? It's blind and it hasn't got a mouth. It's not going to be a good day out with it, is what I'm saying. It's not going to have that much to say to me, even if it's English. Right?
Even if it's
And how can you tell if a worm is English? Is it wear a very tiny bowler hat?
The streets, let's push things forward on XFM 104.9, the home of charity.
That's true enough.
Yeah. I've got to slow down because I'm doing a little bit too much for charity. I've got to worry about myself sooner or later. Do you know what I mean? No, come on. We were halfway through White Van Man.
We were
before
indeed, yes.
Those lads came in.
Getting Carl's views on some of the big stories of the week
Yeah.
from the news. Carl, what do you make of the fact that the British Olympic curling team won a gold medal?
I watched it.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was really good. The only thing that's getting on my nerves now is like, what was that?
Is that a trombone player just sneaked in?
That was me moving this microphone.
Right.
That was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What an amazing noise.
The only thing is,
That shouldn't sound like that, should it? That's incredible. What a shoddy tin pot station this is.
Well, we know that.
Sorry, Carl.
Go on.
it's like in all the papers now, in like the, you know, the Star and the Sun all week, they've been like traipsing models over a bit of granite. Do you know, like how those things are made out of granite, the things they throw?
Oh, yeah.
And it just, that bit annoys me.
Okay.
The way
What, the
that,
Daily Star?
no, the way that, you know, the sport, nobody had ever sort of heard of it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
We win a gold medal,
Yeah.
and now in the papers it's like...
They've gone crazy. They've gone curling
over
mad.
it.
Yeah.
It's a good game now.
Yeah. Good. Okay, next.
Alright, good. Let me see. What about the fact that the world's tallest man is living in a semi in Neasden?
It's alright, isn't it? Something that someone told me in the week is that, do you know all these tall people like this guy?
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird, they've only just found him, considering he's the tallest man. I think that's a bit weird.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone
genius.
told me that, do you know the guy who was in James Bond, the big bloke?
Yes.
Jaws? He's got the same illness as this bloke.
Right.
And what it is...
It's called tall.
It's something about...
You're suffering from tall.
You've got a small tumour or something just behind this part of your head.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just sort of in the middle of your eyes.
Yeah.
And the pressure on that makes you grow really tall or something.
Yeah.
So he needs to get it sorted.
That's your advice to him.
Yeah.
Get it sorted. Okay, very finally, Carl, this is important. This is, just projecting into the future.
Get sorted.
Just projecting into the future now, K-Man. Apparently, global warming will bring sizzling summers and weird wildlife to Great Britain in the future. Are you worried about that?
How soon?
Soon enough for you to worry.
Yeah, it's pretty worrying.
Okay.
No,
You wouldn't prefer it to be sunny here all the time?
because with hot weather comes weird spiders and that. So I always think we're quite lucky here.
Yeah.
If you live in Australia, you might have the sun and stuff, but you've got like deadly snakes,
Yes.
Yeah.
which are deaf. Did you know snakes are deaf?
Snakes are death.
They don't have ears.
Okay.
So you're alright walking about behind them.
Yep. But if they see you ahead of you,
You know.
you're in trouble.
But yeah, with places like Australia, you know, people go, oh, it's great, it's sunny, but they don't talk about the spiders and
They keep the spiders.
lizards
Yeah.
and stuff.
Quite.
So I think we've got a bit of both the best worlds.
So you're worried though about in the future, like, vultures flying through the sky, we've got various creepy crawly snakes. You concerned about that?
Yeah, well, there's a load. I saw something in the news in the week that a load of sparrows or something was somewhere. Maybe that's the start of it.
That's an interesting story.
Was that front page or? There's a load of sparrows somewhere.
About,
Read all about it. Sparrows somewhere.
Some sparrows somewhere.
Sparrows somewhere.
Load of sparrows somewhere.
Sparrows somewhere.
there you go. Anyway,
Excellent. That's
Thank you
great.
very much, Carl.
That's Carl giving his views on the news.
don't do that next week.
Why not?
I just don't like it.
Why?
Pressure.
It's not pressure. You did brilliantly.
Yeah.
Lost Profits there on XFM 104.9. Oh, I like that.
Mhm.
It rocks. I like the guitar. Atmosphere. Good. But it's called the fake sound of progress.
I know. See, what always annoys me is when people, they dismiss, you know, say Enrique Iglesias, current #1, a great song.
Good video.
Brilliant video. And they say, oh, it's rubbish and all that, but I think that songs with titles like A Fake Sound of Progress.
Yeah.
Much more something to get on your hobby horse about.
What has happened in that
Bad
video?
lyrics by good artists is always worse than
If you're listening, or if you work for the record company, or you worked on that video, because he's got the money and the girl, and then Mickey Rourke beats him up, right, he has a fight, you just see him knock him over, and then it cuts, and the next scene, it's night, it's not in the desert, there's loads of, police cars, they're not doing anything.
They're just standing
And
around.
somehow he's
Probably eating donuts.
He's dying of injuries, but I don't know what happened. What has happened in that video?
I think if you heard the 12-inch mix, there's a whole bunch of other, sequences to explain what happened.
Yeah, I mean, we're all thinking, also we think that he stole the girl off Mickey Rourke.
I think he stole the girl off Mickey Rourke,
Yeah.
as well as some money.
Some money, yeah.
Mickey's tracked him down,
Yeah.
and he's thinking, I'm gonna stop running, I'm gonna face Mickey this time. He does, and then boom, you're right, it cuts, and suddenly the police have shot him or
I
something.
don't know where they are.
Don't know what, the police seem to be leaving him to die in there.
See, I thought that they'd called the police, because the sort of like the melee, but Mickey Rourke's off with his gang. The police are going, well, you know, where are they? There's no evidence. They go, well, look, he's dying. They're going, but how did he die?
Yeah.
How is he dying? He's a bit wet for the rain.
Knowing Rourke though, Rick, I imagine he's, stitched Enrique up. I reckon he's framed him or something.
Or he's no sort of like ninja stuff, and there's lots of internal injuries that aren't immediately
Anyone,
visible.
if you were involved with perhaps the making of that video, or indeed you are Enrique Iglesias, give us a ring.
If you're around.
Come on. Just fill us in.
I'd rather play some adverts now than
I'd love to play some adverts, Rick, but I'll say this, I'd also like to tell the listeners that coming very soon on XFM, some huge news about Carl that will rock
It'll
the
be like
capital.
Pop Idol. It's going to be an ongoing saga. Going shot. Good track. Good band. But I'll tell you what, in the second hour I just want to play classics.
I'd love to hear a bloody
I want to
classic,
play
Rick.
some Cure, New Order, Smith.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? You know, we played Nirvana earlier, but it's not enough for me, Steve.
No? You need your fix.
I want I do. Well, it's that point in the show now. Song for the Lovers. One of my favourite singers, probably one of the most beautiful singer-songwriters of all time.
Well, you don't mean that, like, you don't mean that he's a good-looking bloke and you fancy him. I mean, I just want to clear that up, Rick, because otherwise...
That would, yeah.
What you mean is that the songs he writes are beautiful.
Yeah.
You can take or leave him as a bloke, can't
Yeah,
imagine his
of course, yeah.
physicality. He's
And
not
and he's written such brilliant classics with his lovely arse as, why did I say that?
Why did you say that for, Rick? Because
Why did I
people
say
will
that?
listen and misinterpret.
Oh, God. He wrote Galveston, he wrote Wichita Lineman, he wrote, he wrote MacArthur Park, and just to tickle him down below, what? I don't know
Are
what.
you saying
Thieves. And this is, a song, one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. It's off the album 10 Easy Pieces, which is just him doing the versions, of other, you know, that he gave to other people on piano. And this is, called If These Old Walls Could Speak, and it is absolutely beautiful. Listen to this. If These Old Walls Could Speak by Jimmy Webb. Might play another track off that later, if we've got time.
What, today?
Yeah, well, maybe, or maybe next week. We've got
knows,
lots to pack in. We've got things like New Order, Cure.
I'm just hoping that, all those kind of new metal fans, Rick, can just calm down for a second, you know,
Yeah.
and just enjoy that for what it was.
Yeah.
But they're
you
not,
know,
I hope their snobbery is not going to prevent them from enjoying
I
it.
hope they can just leave it alone for 2 hours for our show. Because
Exactly.
we try and, you know, try and pack lots of
Well, whilst
stuff
you're
in.
talking about new metal, can I just say Ian Camfield is here tonight. He's
What?
moving from Fridays.
Right, what the hell does he think he's doing?
He's just offering up information now.
No, it's just that you were talking about the new metalers, and now seems like a good time to
Carl,
say-
listen, you're here for our amusement.
Yeah.
You don't sort of come in any time you want.
When we decide it's time to sort of have some fun at your expense, then we'll let you know, but
Yeah.
otherwise...
We're not here to help other DJs, or even this station. We don't give a about this.
See, this is what my girlfriend said.
What's that?
Well, you should listen to her.
She knows what she's talking about,
Just-
clearly. Now
just
put your
wait-
microphone down,
She said they just wheel you out when they need you.
switch your microphone off, Carl, and let us finish what we were saying.
Right, just
What were
Yeah.
we saying, Rick?
Ian Camfield has got a rock show
Oh, right, yeah.
starting today. 4 hours of pure rock. Yeah, he's probably here smoking, drinking Jack Daniels, and just like having pictures of Vance put up around him to get in the mood. Then he'd go out and rock. Carl, don't be silly. Turn your microphone on. We're joking. Is that right? When's he on?
8 till 12 tonight, 4 hours of rock.
Lovely. Listen, some big classics coming up, plus huge
let's
news
ads.
about
no,
Carl.
please, let's play some more ads.
Do you really want some ads?
I'm tired of the music and chat. Please play some more ads, Carl. Please.
Carl.
Christ's sake. Cure on XFM 104.9. That's what it's all about, Steve.
Absolutely classics.
Yeah, we've got some more classics coming up.
Looking forward to them.
Now, when we were talking to Carl in the week, things we're talking to Carl is that you've come up with something that's sort of like, quite innocent, and he goes, well, that once, right? And you realise that it's comedy dynamite. He doesn't know it, but we want to go save it. And he let out, you were filling in a form, weren't you? It was all like your girlfriend thinking you're a div. And it's happened before, isn't it? Because she came home and you'd filled out a form to get a job once, hadn't you?
Yeah.
What was that for?
Granada Telly.
And on it...
Well, let Carl explain.
Yeah.
You see, this is what annoys me with job applications, because rather than just saying, do you want the job, and what can you bring to this business?
Yeah. Do you want the job is a good one.
Because the thing is...
That's sort of the one for the boys.
No, listen, right?
Because if they say no, I don't think they want the job.
Yeah, but listen.
Go on.
I mean, I presume with what you do, you have to take people on and stuff.
What, in a fight, you mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's more important that you're willing to graft and put the hours in.
Sure.
Than say that, you know, you did well at school.
Yes.
Sure.
Because if I wanted to, I could have done well at school.
Of course.
I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
So where's this going? So you had the application form.
So when it came to the qualifications bit and that, I couldn't fill them in because I didn't have any qualifications. And it was also asking about your languages. And I put down English quite good.
English quite good.
And his girlfriend came over and seen the form that he'd sent off, and this was a copy of it.
Yeah.
And so she went, oh, you know what I mean? So that's what started, you know, the disappointment.
So they're going to get that and think that you're not English.
I don't think I've got it. It was ages ago.
Right.
How long ago was it?
Oh, well, it was when I was still in Manchester, so 5 years ago.
I don't think you want to know. No, I think you...
That could be a long list.
I mean, there's probably a lot of admin problems in that organisation, but they probably...
But what I meant by it is that, you know, I can speak English, but I don't know all these long words that people use all the time.